Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about my thoughts on the rumors of the MCU Fantastic Four movie focusing on Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman. So there's tons of rumors going out about the MCU Fantastic Four. There's some casting rumors that aren't concrete yet. And so, like, there are even talks about how the Thing is supposed to be gender bent to female, and so is the Silver Surfer. Who knows if that's really going to happen? But if it does happen, tons of Marvel fans are going to be ticked off. But anyways, there is an interesting rumor that's been spread around since the middle of this year about, the Fantastic Four movie focusing solely on that of Sue Storm, and then everybody else is just like supporting cast members. And so when I thought about that, I'm just kind of like, why in the world would you focus a Fantastic Four movie solely on one person instead of the whole family? It's gonna be the X-Men Fox movies all over again with the whole focusing on Wolverine thing. Wolverine, yeah, he's my favorite X-Men and everything. But all three of the first three, well, actually the first three movies focused on Wolverine, and the X-Men was supporting cast members. Then they did the Wolverine origin movies, which he got his own solo movie. Then they rebooted it into the First Class movies, but then in the Days of Future Past, he's once again the center focus of the movie, more like an assist, but he's still prominent in the movie. And it was too much Wolverine for for a movie that's supposed to center around a group of heroes, individual heroes that make up the core group. And if this is the true about the Fantastic Four, then they're making that same mistake that the Fox Marvel movies made. And why in the world would you do that? The Fantastic Four are literally Marvel's first family. They are a group, a family of superheroes. Reed and Sue are married. Johnny is the brother slash brother-in-law, and Ben Grimm, the Thing, is just their friend. Then, of course, Sue and Richard had two kids. They're like a family of superheroes. It's supposed to revolve around the entire family, the entire group, not just one person. And so if you do that, you take away what makes the Fantastic Four in their core movie. It's okay if you do it in a comic. It's okay if you do it in a TV show episode. But this ain't TV, this is a movie. And the movie should center around the Fantastic Four. Fans have been wanting them to enter the MCU for a very long time. Now, via the multiverse, they are going to. But the thing is say what you will about the Fox Fantastic Four movies, but at least those movies centered around the entire group. Everybody had their own story arc. Everybody had their own character growth. Well, not so much Sue, to tell you the truth. But she did in the second one a little bit more. So anyway. But say what you will, at least those movies didn't focus around one person. It focused around everybody and stuff. And that's what you're supposed to do if you have a group of heroes. See, that would be so weird if they made the Avengers movie all those years ago and then they centered it around that of Iron Man, Tony Stark. It would be weird. It would be out of place. But the only reason why it happened in Civil War is because it was actually a Captain America movie and everybody else was supposed to assist. But here, it's not supposed to be that way. So I think if they go down that route, they're going to anger so many fans. I'm not talking about those toxic people on YouTube. They're going to be pissed off just no matter what. But I'm talking about people who actually have intelligence in their head, people who are actually sane in their head. And they're going to be irritated because it's going to be the Fox X-Men all over again. And those same people complain when Wolverine was the focal center point of all those movies. And if it happens again, then, it's gonna be just strange, odd, and weird. And I like Sue Storm. I like the Fantastic Four. Even though Johnny's my favorite. I mean, the dude can set on fire and fly. Come on now. But it's just like, even if the movie was to center around Johnny Storm only, I would be mad. If it was to center around the Thing or Reed, I would be mad. And so it's like, if this is gonna be your first outing and show the fans that, hey, we're gonna correct the mistakes of like the first two, which I don't care what nobody says. I like the first two movies. They were not great, but they were still entertaining and good. I have not seen that third movie with Tank Albert? What is his name? Who directed that movie? I ain't seen that. I never will see that. I never, ever, ever, never will see that. And so, my only wish is that, okay, there's rumors that Pedro Pascal may be that of Reed Richards. And of course, he's Latino and everything. If they cast him, please don't do the Jessica Alba thing where you try to make them look white. Because I felt so bad for her. Because, okay, she's a Latino woman. And they literally try to make her a white woman. They bleached her hair, but then in the second movie they bleached it even more, and then they put blue contacts in her eyes that make her look white. But you can tell she was Latino because she still had that Latino skin color and those pouty lips. And it was just odd. Like, why couldn't they just say, okay, she's Latino who dyed her hair blonde? That would have been so much better than trying to cart her off as like a white woman. But then that would never explain the whole Johnny thing, because that's her brother. And he was played by Chris Evans, and he's white. But they could have made something work. And I don't want to see the whole, oh, this person is adopted, like they did with the black Johnny Storm and the white Sue and everything. That was just weird. Because it's kind of like they're supposed to be brother, sister bonded, and not one supposed to be adopted. So they need to figure out what the heck they're gonna do. And rumor has it, that's why a lot of these like big time male stars don't want to sign on for Reed Richards, because of something about the pay that Marvel Disney doesn't want to pay them that much. And also they don't want to play second fiddle to that of the Sue character and everything. And, I don't mind if they like evolve the Sue Storm character. Because, I've never read a comic. But my first introduction to her was that of the 90s animated series. And there she was just like, a wife. And I think she was like a former model, but it was never really brought up. But she was just like a wife, and that's it. And she never really had no real good character development. And they didn't utilize her power effectively and everything like it does in the comics and other iterations. And it's like she will always get like hurt or kidnapped or just something like that, So then, of course, the movies came out and they decided to make her more into like that of her ultimate counterpart, where she's like a scientist and stuff. At least that's what I read years ago. And that was interesting. They made her a scientist along with Reed, so they can have like equal footing and stuff. And so like, even though she was a scientist and she helped out, she was more like Reed's assistant and the one who always like try to keep like Johnny in check and and just like nag at Reed. But they're families, so that's what they're supposed to do. And so like, of course, in like other animated series and stuff, she had a bit more to do. She was more spunky and stuff like that. But I don't mind if they evolve her character into something more than just a wife and just that of a model. You know what I'm saying? And I really miss the Fox Fantastic Four cast. That was a great cast. Like, they just like, Reed, the dude who played Reed, he just looked and felt like a live action Reed. And Johnny was just kooky, and Ben Grimm had an amazing look to him. And who doesn't just love Jessica Alba, man? You know what I'm saying? And they made her very feisty in that, which is something that she's always in and everything. She's pretty much everything she's always been in and stuff. But I really miss that cast. I wish that cast could come on over to the MCU. But that would be pretty hard because, of course, the whole Chris Evans situation. But in the present day, Chris Evans Captain America is now an old man, so they could probably get away with it and stuff. I mean, it is the multiverse after all. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.